Hello, this is Shar from the Real Kitchen for real people, and I'm trusting that everyone is staying safe. And today we are going to feature mushroom chicken. This is a very special recipe for my household, especially for me and my husband, because this was one of the first meals I fixed when we got married. So it's very special and has a lot of memories behind it. But first you want to get 2 whole chicken breasts, skinless and boneless. And what I've done with these 2 is split them in half because I don't like my meat thick when it's cooking. I'm going to prepare this for both of us today. And as I said, whatever I prepare, I plan to eat it that day. So this is what we're going to have today. And you would need to clean and cut your chicken breast in half. Okay? And then the seasonings that I put on here is not very many seasonings involved. You will have your Tony's Creole seasoning and black pepper and a little kosher salt. And what you are going to do is season both sides of the chicken breast. You don't have to season it real heavy. Just season it lightly on both sides. Okay. Also included in this recipe is about 1/4 of your bell peppers. I try to use all colors. I don't use yellow very often, but I do use the red, green, and orange pretty much almost in every recipe I make almost. And I have about a cup of chopped onions, and then I have a 1/4 cup of mushrooms, fresh mushrooms. I just sliced them up real thin. And those of you who do not like mushrooms, you can also make this recipe without the mushrooms. But I guarantee you will not taste it in there. It just gives it a different spin when you add the mushroom. It's delicious, I promise you. And so also you're going to have about a 1/4 cup of oil. I take that back. It'll probably be like 2 tablespoons of oil in a skillet. And I'll show you. Okay, here's my seasoned chicken. And now I'm getting ready to heat my oil. I'll heat 2 tablespoons of oil and 1 tablespoon of butter. Okay, I've added 2 tablespoons of olive oil and then 1 tablespoon of butter. And the reason I add the butter is to give it a beautiful brown color without that burnt look. So if you combine your butter and your olive oil, it browns your meat really pretty. So I'm going to wait till that heats up. It's on medium heat until it gets smoky. You know, it'll start smoking. You'll know when it's hot. And then we'll add our chicken. Okay, my oil is warm. If you can see how it's bubbling. So I'm going to add my chicken breast into the hot oil. Now, depending on how many chicken breasts you're cooking, and I'm going to do probably 2 at a time because they're kind of large. Now I'll add these other 2 when those are brown. And you'll cook these until they're brown on the side. And then you'll flip them over and let them brown. So let them brown on pretty good on both sides. I'll show you once these are brown, how it should look. You don't have to cover it right now. Just keep your pan open on medium heat as they cook. Okay, I'm going to turn these over. It was about 6 minutes, and you can see where it's getting brown around the edges. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. You can see how it looks. See that pretty brown? Okay, and you just turn them both over and brown the other side to be exactly like this side. Okay, it's been 6 minutes on this side, and you can see that's pretty and brown. I'm going to sit those aside and put the other two in there. Okay, and I'm going to let those cook the same, 6 minutes on each side until brown. Okay, I'm going to turn these over and let them cook for 6 minutes. Okay, these are good and brown, so I'm going to take these out, put them aside. And you see all these goodies in the bottom of your skillet. You have all these goodies, but I'm going to pour some of this oil off because I don't want it to be too oily. So I'm going to pour some of that off. Because I only need about, let's see, probably need about a tablespoon in there. So you can see about how much I need in there. I'm going to pick that up. Then I'm going to brown and saute these vegetables in this oil. Then just stir them around. And it's already smelling wonderful. And just stir that around in there. Let that aroma flow through the house. To make sure it's covered with oil. Just kind of stir it around in there. Straight to the bottom. There we go. Get that delicious flavoring onto your vegetables. Okay. And you let this saute for about 3 minutes. Okay. Just saute about 3 minutes and constantly stirring. Okay, this is how they'll look once they're sauteed for about 3 minutes. And in a small bowl, I have combined 2 tablespoons of flour and 3 tablespoons of cold water. And I'm stirring that up until it's creamy. Okay, see how that is? It's creamy. Okay. And I'm going to pour this into my sauteed vegetables. Just dump that all in there. And then you're going to stir that up into the sauteed vegetables. It'll look like that. and it's going to pull all those goodies off the bottom of your skillet. Okay, now you're going to fill that bowl that you had the flour in up with water. And the reason why I mix my flour and water up first, cold water up first, is to keep it from getting lumpy when you add it to this hot steamed vegetables. You don't want it to be lumpy. So now I'm going to add a cup, that same bowl of cold water. To my mixture. And you need to do this just like I showed you, so keep your gravy from getting lumpy. Okay? And you see how it's smooth. You want your gravy to be smooth and silky. Okay? So I added that bowl of water, and I'm going to let that slow cook on medium low for about 8 minutes. And then I'll show you what's next. Okay, now I'm going to add a cup of chicken broth to the mixture. And continue to let it cook on medium low. And then you can add to this, you can taste it and see if you need to add a little more salt or pepper. It depends on your taste buds, what you need to add as far as your seasoning. So I'm going to taste it and see if I need to add anything to it. Just taste your liquid part. Yes, it's a little bland, so I'm going to add a little bit more kosher salt. And I'm going to add just a little bit more pepper. Okay. And then I'm going to let it continue to cook. And it'll gradually get thicker as it cooks. Okay. So I'm going to let it cook for about 3 more minutes. And then I'll add my chicken. Before I add my chicken, I want to add about a teaspoon of butter. Now add this extra butter to give it a richer taste. Give your gravy a richer taste. So you can do that or if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But I like that richer taste. I prefer the richer taste gravy. Okay. And now I'm going to just add my chicken pieces back into here. And I'm going to let this continue to cook on medium low. And as it cooks, it will get thicker. If it's not thick enough for you, then you can do the flour measurements that I showed you in the bowl and just add it to your mixture. But do not add the flour straight up in here. Put it in a bowl, add a little water to it to get it in a smooth texture, then add it to your chicken mixture. But I'm going to let mine cook, and now at this point, I want to cover it and let it continue to cook and I'll check it in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to continue to cook for about 15 minutes covered. Isn't that beautiful? It's already smelling scrumptious. Can't wait. Okay, I'll be back. I'm coming back just to check on it. After 3 minutes, I wanted to see how it was doing. I can turn over my chicken. You can see that it's bubbling a little bit. And you can taste anywhere in between this thickening of your gravy just to make sure it's seasoned perfect. So I'm going to continue letting that cook. I'm going to cover it. And the neat thing about this recipe, it is a winner all the way around. I had it for my groom's dinner when I got married 43 years ago, and it was a crowd pleaser. Everybody enjoyed it. It's just an awesome taste to it. When you make your own gravy, now you can use the cream of mushroom chicken in the can. You know, I've used that before, but I kind of like to control the sodium in the gravy. I like to kind of make my own gravy because I don't like that low fat one they have out of the cream of mushroom. So I'll just do my gravy like I showed you guys, and then I can control the sodium in the gravy and how it tastes. So you can add more mushrooms if you're a lover of mushrooms. And that's the beauty of it. You can't overdo it. You can add more bell peppers, more onions, but the recipe that I just gave you is what I've uh, narrowed down for 2 people. And this recipe I prepared for my husband after we got married, and he thought, wow, boy, she could really cook. And he didn't know that was the only thing I could cook after we had it for a week. And then he realized that she don't know how to cook anything else. And I said, no, I don't. So after 43 years, I've come to this point. I've enjoyed cooking. It is, you can be creative and make it your own art piece. And don't be scared to try different things in your recipes. It's good to go with a baseline, but then try to add your seasonings to satisfy your own taste and your own diet or whatever. But make it your own. Make it your own art piece. So I'll come back, and I think I may have to add a little bit more of the flour gravy in the bowl to mine. I'm going to check and make sure. I'll be back. Okay, it's cooking, and I need it to be a little bit, excuse me, I need it to be a little bit thicker than this. So in this bowl, I've added a tablespoon of flour and 2 tablespoons of cold water. So I'm going to just add a little of that in there at a time. I don't want to get it too thick, but I'm going to add a little bit at a time and stir it up in there. Because I'm trying to get a certain consistency. I'm going to add the rest. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. And today we're going to have this mushroom chicken over some rice. You can also have it over potatoes or noodles or whatever your heart desires. But now I'm going to turn it on low And now I'm just going to let it simmer because I think I got the consistency I want. Like that. See that? Yes. And let it simmer, cover. Let it simmer. Okay, you can see it simmering, and you can also, when it's ready to serve, you get your rice in a bowl or in a plate or however you're going to do it, and you just spoon it over your rice or your potatoes or your noodles, and it is fantastic. And so we're going to have it with some green beans, some glazed carrots, and rice. When I get ready to plate it, I will bring you back in before I start eating. And oh, also we're going to have, of course, homemade cornbread. And you can find that on my channel. Homemade cornbread is always with everything we cook. So I'll come back with you when I'm plating. Now I'm getting ready to plate it so we can eat. Now, if you want to, you can cut your chicken up in smaller pieces if you want to. At this point, you can just kind of cut your chicken up smaller pieces. Some people cut them in chunks and or some slices. Sometimes we just eat them whole, but today I'm gonna just kind of chop them up in small pieces. Some of it anyway. I'll leave some of them whole. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to plate this delicious dish. Okay, and just pour it over there. You just pour it over your rice or your pasta or whatever you, potatoes, whatever you want. And you just pour it over there, and it's ready to serve. And it is fabulous. I am ready to chow down. So, if you like this video, be sure to thumbs up. And if you haven't already, you need to subscribe so you can continue automatic good recipes from the real kitchen for real people. So I hope you enjoy, and I thank you for viewing. And I'm getting ready to chow down. Until next time, love you, love, and God bless. Stay safe.